This video is going to show you how to use the options on the menu bar. The menu bar is located at the top of the invoice. The first menu is the File menu. The File menu's first option is the Exit. Next, you can do your printer setup. This allows you to redirect where you want your reports and invoices to print. For example, we have a parts laser down here, and we can have this going to our default printer. Compared to our parts barcode printer, we would select a different printer to have our barcodes print out. This allows you to redirect your documents, invoices, and reports to specific printers in your department. The Print Screen option under the File menu takes a snapshot of the current screen and sends it to your default printer. On the View menu, you have a History feature. Clicking this brings up all of the changes that were made to this invoice. It tells you what field was changed, who changed it, what the old value was, what the new value, and then the date and time of the change. For example, we're going to type into the filter, and we drilled down on a part number that started with 08A. So in this, we can see that admin changed the quantity sold from 0 to 1. Then they changed the quantity relieved from 0 to 1. This is very helpful when researching an invoice to find out what was changed and who changed it. If there are any deposits made on this invoice, you can click View Deposits, and it gives you the information about the deposit, the amount, when the deposit was created, any comments about the deposit, and most importantly, was it cashed out? You can add a deposit to an invoice and send it to a cashier to be cashed out. And it won't be unless you look at this entry that you know that the money was actually collected. If this invoice were cashed out, you would get basically the same information that you'd have on the deposit screen. The reason why we're not seeing any information on this ticket is it's still in an invoice status, which is open and allowing us to do modifications. Once it is cashed out, this information will be populated. Also, if you're on a cashed out ticket, the computer system would have created the accounting transactions. So if you're in the accounting department and you open up an invoice, you can click on the accounting transactions option and see the actual journal entry that was created when this ticket was cashed out. On the Tools menu, you can split this invoice. And what that allows you to do, if somebody's coming in and they're asking you to build them an invoice, and on that invoice you have 5 parts. 4 out of the 5 parts you have in stock. The 5th part is going to be a special order. You can say, I want to split this invoice, and it will take all of the parts that you have relieved, because you have them in stock, and it will move them to an invoice with a suffix of an A or a B. For example, this ticket invoice number is 5979. If we were to split this, the parts that were relieved would end up on invoice number 5979A, and the parts that are not relieved would end up on 5979B. That way you can cash out 5979A, give the customer his parts, take the money, and then when you receive the parts, he can purchase the parts on invoice number 5979B. Import the parts. There are external programs that can create a parts list, such as a microfiche viewer or parts explosion software, where the parts manager can pull up a screenshot of a car or an RV, click on the engine, and drill down on images to get to a specific part. and they can say add to list. Once you've built a list on this external program, you can come to this section and click on import parts. It will read in that list of parts that they have found on that external program and automatically populate your invoice with them. Create an alert allows you to notify anybody who's going to open up this invoice. Typed in test alert, and we're going to hit OK. We're going to close this invoice and reopen it. Now, every time you open an invoice, it's going to show you the alert. And if you were to cash out an invoice with an alert on it, that alert would actually be passed on to the journal entry in accounting. So if there was something funny, maybe I overrode the taxes on this invoice, and I want to put in the alert that I overrode the taxes, when the accounting department pulls up the journal entry, they will see that same alert on the journal entry that you overrode the taxes, and they will know why there was a different adjustment on that posting entry. You can clear the alert and hit OK, and there's your invoice back. View the order list. The order list is where you create a list of parts that you need to place on purchase orders and order. So if a customer comes in and you have added a part to the invoice that you don't have in stock and you need to order it, when you click the order parts button, you can take a part and say place on the order list. Now when you go to the tools and view the order list, you'll see the part is there. And that is used for your ordering manager, who will come through and look at all of the parts and decide who they're going to order it from. View parts allocation. Service department has a number of jobs that require parts. Those parts are going to be allocated to the service department. So even though you have 10 on hand, the service department needs 4 of them. The total available for sale in the parts department is 6, even though there's still 10 left on the shelf. But this is also useful when you have parts that you need to order. So if you have a part that you've put onto the order list, you may see down here that you've got them on order. This also tells me that I've had parts that I've been waiting for in the service department or parts department, and they have been received and they're on hand. These are on order, and then you can see in an orange warning, here's a part that was placed on the order list but was not ordered or has yet to be ordered. Returned items. There are no returned items on this document. If we had applied a return using this button down here at the bottom and had some items that a customer had brought back to us, clicking the returned items would temporarily filter down and display only the returned items on this invoice. The tax information shows you the amount of tax. You have the ability to override the taxes by clicking the checkbox and typing in your own amount. If it's unchecked, the computer will go into our supplied files, all the tax rates, and will use those rates to calculate the sales tax on the invoice. The program file allows you to jump to different modules. The help feature allows you to go to our knowledge base, which you can search for different topics and get answers to some of the questions. We would suggest that you watch the video on how to use the knowledge base. You can also get information about what versions you're actually running on your system. As Systems 2000 makes changes and upgrades your software, we put in a list of the changes that we have made. So you can review all changes that were made to the parts program in the last few updates. Emailing tech support is very important. When you click on Email Tech Support, it takes a snapshot of the screen you're working on, and then you can type in your question to our support team, and they will either call you back or send you an email regarding your issue. Please note that you don't have to go up here to the Help menu to get this information. You can hit your F1 key, function key 1, and it quickly brings up a Help menu, and you can click Email Tech Support. And again, it snaps a picture of your screen and allows you to type in your question. The messaging option will jump you right to your Infinity mailbox. And reporting will jump you directly to the Reports module. You can clock in and clock out, and that puts transactions into the employee time clock file, which will also integrate right into the Systems 2000 payroll system.